Our coverage brought to you by Stella Artois and by Tide. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide. We have a Cowboys beat writer sitting down with us with a developing news situation, maybe breaking news a little bit later on. We'll get to that. It's time for Krusty's Corner, brought to you by Greystone Roofing. Go to greystone-roofing.com.
Hey, kids! Your old pal Krusty's going to teach you 5 new words.
You're not wrong about that.
From Dallas, Texas, number 55, Brian Waters.
Thank you very much, Luce. Always appreciate you playing that. And thank you to Greystone, and thank you to everybody who sponsors us out here to help us have the great week that we've had so far. It's been a lot of fun getting to talk to all these people. So excited that just interview after interview, like, I think I would never. I got to talk to this guy today.
Bo Jackson, 14 minutes.
Crazy how this, but happy to be getting to talk to our guy Nick Harris. Fort Worth newspaper.
How the hell did I get to lay up Bo Jackson?
I know.
How did I land this? I appreciate you guys. I was just walking around. Y'all pulled me, so I appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay, a lot of buzz going around here at the Combine about Cowboys international game. Is there anything that you're hearing about that?
Yeah, so that's been like my one task this week that I just felt like going down a rabbit hole with. So I've talked to and met so many people this week that are involved with the NFL International Series, and all those people come out for Super Bowl week and whatnot. So when I was coming into the week, I had heard that Melbourne was a strong possibility for the Cowboys. I've been told Mexico City was basically off the table because the Cowboys have a strong presence in Mexico, and there's going to be a 3-year window where the NFL is going back to Mexico. Cowboys will be in there somewhere, but this first year they want to go grow that Cowboys brand elsewhere. And so Melbourne was a city that was mentioned to me a couple months ago, and the more I started to talk with some good friends we have in Australia, Brian,
sure.
and there was some connecting buzz there down under with that. But as it started to get closer, it was like it probably makes more sense for this to be a divisional game. The Los Angeles Rams are already the designated home team for that, and so today it was announced San Francisco 49ers are going to Melbourne. So where does that leave the Cowboys? Rio de Janeiro, and I think we are going to get an announcement for Rio de Janeiro for the Cowboys here soon. That is at least what it is trending in my eyes. But we'll see. I'm super excited. This is a super fluid situation.
Yeah.
Because as of 3 days ago, there was a completely different team that was supposed to be playing in Melbourne. So I do want to preface with that. But it's sounding like, Brazil, man. How about that?
Well, have these been like the last couple of games have been Friday night games, right?
Yeah, and this one's going to be weird, too, because how do you do Melbourne? Because Melbourne, ideally you do it week 1, but you might have to do it before the standard season opener on Thursday night because of the travel and logistics situation. So that's going to be interesting. And how do they actually end up playing that? When do they play it? What time of day? That's going to be another factor. But Melbourne's going to be the one that kind of causes a domino effect with everything else because standardly, the Brazil game has been on that first Friday night.
Right.
It would make sense to keep it there, but how does Melbourne kind of jumble all that up? I don't know. But it would be so much fun, man, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It'd be a blast. Is that giving up a home game? The Cowboys?
That would be giving up a home game, correct. Okay. Apparently there's still a possibility that Mexico City could be an additional international game for the Cowboys this year. But everybody I trust that I talked to on the international side of things this week expects it to be either Rio and a small chance of maybe a Europe game.
You got to chat with Woody earlier. We had him on yesterday. He's the best.
Yeah.
When it comes to the NFL honors tonight, the Hall of Fame buzz, any information you can share?
Yeah, I don't have much buzz there. And honestly, with all the FBI black vans that showed up outside of people's houses for the Belichick news, I think I'm good on tracking that one down. But no, it's hopefully Darren Woodson gets in. I talked to him earlier today, and he's great. He already knows, but obviously the public won't find out until tonight. But he deserves it. There's no doubt. A Cowboys leading tackler. He's also the second all-time leading tackler on the team in special teams history. So he's a deserving guy, not only on the field but off.
What about Dak Prescott, comeback player? Is he going to get it?
It sounds like it's going to be Christian McCaffrey, at least from the odds makers' views. And of all the awards tonight, Christian McCaffrey has the best, or whatever it would be, the best odds, I guess, to win comeback player of the year.
So we're looking at Jake Ferguson then for their chance to get home some hardware in the salute to service?
Yeah, that'll happen. And then I'm keeping an eye on Solomon Thomas for Man of the Year. He's one of like Walter Payton Man of the Year. He's one of like 5 legitimate candidates that have a shot at winning it tonight. Deion Dawkins from the Bills is another legitimate candidate. Travis Kelce from the Chiefs. There's a couple more in there. But yeah, I'm keeping an eye on Solomon Thomas as well. I'm going to have a pre-write ready for it. And typically, about 75% of the time when I have a pre-write, it works out. So
okay. When we had a chance to talk to Jay Glazer yesterday, and Jay Glazer, really, him and Stephen Jones is very close. He had some interesting thoughts about Jerry spending money, thumbs up, in free agency, but he wasn't so sure about what was going to happen with George Pickens. How are you handicapping those things?
It's weird because when I think about the George Pickens situation, I think so much about what happened with Micah last year.
Yeah.
And that was supposed to be the easiest one that got done, right? And then that was the one that didn't. And so are things happy and jolly right now? Absolutely. George Pickens wants to be back. They want him back. I think there's going to be a meeting of the minds as far as money goes. CeeDee Lamb said yesterday that it doesn't matter if George makes more than him. He just wants George there. Mm-hmm. Everyone agrees that George Pickens should be in Dallas. And so on paper, this should be easy, simple, done. Maybe you franchise tag him when the tag window opens just so you can have a little bit more time to negotiate what those terms look like on that contract. But I'd say all this with the caveat in mind of Micah Parsons and all of that going to hell last year. So, if you're asking me, I think this Pickens deal gets done. I think they tag him as early as they can, and then they probably don't get a deal done until the summer because, these things tend to drag out. They would have until July 15th to work out that deal, though.
Any tipping of their hand yet on where they might be heading in free agency as far as positions or players that they might want to get? Yeah,
nothing yet. They are still working on getting this staff together on the defensive side. There's probably 2, maybe 3 more position coaches that they need to hire to call it a day. And then from there, they will be able to really get with the scouting department and figure out what best free agents fit their mold, and they'll go out and target those guys. But, Javonte Williams, Brandon Aubrey, they've already started discussions with both of those guys about bringing them back, and so I think those are going to be the top 2 priorities in-house, and then you also have Jadeveon Clowney.
What do you know about the new, is it outside linebackers coach from Georgia? Yeah,
Chidera Uzo-Diribe. I had the opportunity to cover him when he was in the college ranks. He was at SMU and TCU. Think of it as a pass rush specialist. His title is going to be outside linebackers coach, but think of it as a pass rush specialist. He'll be able to really help these guys, not only in the outside linebackers room, but also a guy like Donovan Ezeraku or Jadeveon Clowney if he comes back. And I think there's going to be a little bit more scheme versatility involved with that, too.
Speaking of pass rushers, where are you at on pass rusher at 12 in the draft?
I am not as high on these pass rushers as everyone else.
Sure.
I like Ruben Bain. I don't think Ruben Bain's going to be there at 12.
Bailey. Bain from Miami, Bailey from Texas Tech.
Yes, and I like those 2 guys. I don't think Bain will be there at 12. I think you could get a better player than Bailey at 12. Personally, it's tough for me. And then from there, if you're moving back to 20, you have Keldrick Falk, Auburn, Romello Height, Texas Tech. There's Akeem Mesidor out of Miami. There's knocks on all of these pass rushers. And if we look back into previous years, I'm trying to think off the top of my head, Abdul Carter, oh my God, this is hard. Jalen Walker. There were a couple of really good ones last year.
Pierce Jr. I
feel like your number 1 edge this year, Ruben Bain, would probably be like 4 or 5 last year. And it's like, are we elevating these guys because they are 1, 2, and 3 this year, or is it truly because they have the talent to be 1, 2, and 3? Overall, I just don't like this draft class. I like linebackers, corners, safeties. Other than that, like I'm struggling to find the depth and position groups I really like, especially at the top.
So if you don't like the draft class, maybe, if you're the Cowboys, do you feel the same way? You get the news of Maxx Crosby wanting out. Is that, when you're kind of looking and now they get further along in this process, you more open-minded if you can, and he's done in Vegas? Do you think that's on the table?
I would be open-minded. Absolutely, I would be open-minded for that. But what would Vegas want? And they're already putting out there that they want more than what Micah Parsons was traded for. I don't think they'll get that. But whatever that looks like, and if you have to give up a first this year, why not? Why not?
If you're the Cowboys, do you trade this before the draft? Because you're not going to make this one on the clock. Are you?
You're talking about Crosby, potential Crosby? Yeah, you would do it before the draft. Yeah, because if you were having to give up a first, then you would be giving up both of next year's firsts, and then you're out of the first round next year. And next year's going to be a really talented top of the class, in my opinion. There's going to be some really good talent in that top 20, so we'll see.
Nick Harris on the Wild Fork Foods hot seat. Wanted to ask you about what Cooper Kupp said about Clayton Adams. Says everything took off after I spent my 2 years with Coach Adams in college. He was so next level with what he was teaching us and how he was pushing us that it changed my life. Do the Cowboys got one here in Adams that they should hang on to for a long time?
Absolutely, yeah. Anyone you talk to feels the same about Clayton Adams in that building. Really bright mind, and if you ever get the opportunity, if anybody listening, maybe catch us Clayton Adams in a Kroger or something. I don't know what your sponsor is, in a Tide Pod warehouse or something. Then try to talk ball with him. He'll sit there and talk with you, and he's great. He's awesome.
You're the man, Nick. Thank you so much for joining us.
Appreciate you guys.
Have a great weekend. Enjoy the game, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Yeah, thank you.
Real soon. There he is, an absolute beast of a NFL reporter, Nick Harris, with you here from the Star Telegram.